What are Americans good at?
Fast food.
What are Americans known to be exceptional at? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Not Your Asian Women podcast. I'm Christine Chang.
I'm Shining.
Today, we're going to talk about things that Asian people do better.
Everything. We're going to start Asian hate today. If you didn't hate Asians before, you're going to start today.
What comes to your mind first when you think of Asian excellence and what we do better?
Money.
Money management is a huge one. We're practical. We are very practical with money.
Relationships?
Yeah, I would know. Hell no, not.
I had a great setup and I failed.
Hell no.
Bombed.
I would
That
say
didn't land.
no. Based on my upbringing and talking about emotions, I will say no. I will not give that to the Asians. Massages.
Massage.
Asian massage compared to the Four Seasons spa massages, I think it's so stupid. You guys pay $300 for an oil rub down that your partner can do for you, or you could do yourself. Why the fuck am I going to pay for that when you can pay $49 and have an angry Asian lady with toes of steel? Like, you want to get your body worked, right? Isn't that the point of a massage? You want to like release things, not just fucking rub down. And I hate when they talk to you like, hello, welcome to Burke Williams. I'm like, why are you talking like that? You could just say like, hi, welcome, in a nice tone. And it's corporate policy for them to talk like that. It's so fucking fake to me. And I appreciate a nice setup, cleanliness, clean, but I feel they overdo it. Like, I don't value that in that I would pay the hundreds and thousands just to have that. When your massage fucking sucks, dude. The massage better be good. I want to get worked.
Yeah. I had a bit about it. It costs a lot for white people to touch you.
It does. It does.
And it barely touches.
They do.
$20 massage, you feel like a brand new person afterwards.
Seriously, the stuff they open up. I do this Thai massage place, and typically I prefer the women. I think maybe they have more anger. They're stronger to me. But this guy, his name's Jimmy. Shout out Jimmy at Swanya Thai Massage. He is excellent.
Thai massage, the best.
Steps on me, but the way he does it too, it's not just like you go in and jab it. It does hurt, but you can tell he's trained, and the way he goes in is so good. Yeah, I really love a good Asian massage.
Yeah, and then red envelope.
Gifts.
Cash is king.
Yes. Who does not want cash?
Fuck your baby shower registry. You're acting like you're surprised. Oh, look what I got.
You fucking chose it. I think it's so fake to me. I don't understand that. Wouldn't it make more sense just to give the cash then? And I think in some cultures it's considered rude.
Oh, yeah.
That's
so
weird to me.
I grew up in China. Everybody just give each other cash in red envelope.
Who is not happy getting an envelope full of cash?
And when I immigrated here, somebody told me giving cash is rude. I'm like, the fuck? Giving me gift is rude. Fuck your gift. I can get them a lot cheaper. Why do I need 3 air fryers for?
Yeah, registry to me. Some people, their love language is gifts. And I think because it's so low on my love language that I guess I'm more practical that way. I think it's nice when someone's thoughtful. Like, oh my gosh, she knew I would like this. But if it's a registry, you make a list of what you want and you're telling people what to buy you. They buy it for you. And then the whole shower, bridal shower, baby shower thing to me is weird and unnecessary. I understand celebrating your friend. I think that's beautiful. But the whole let's sit around and then watch you open all the gifts you got. No one wants to watch you open a bunch of gifts and read a card. I'm like, what is this? I don't know one person that's like, oh, I love that part. They're like, please make this fast. Please make this fast. And it's this whole social thing of like, just say you buy them something really expensive. Oh my God, she gifted her the Tiffany rattle. I am not about that.
Yeah. If you want to be thoughtful, write a card and stuff it with cash. That's the most thoughtful shit you could ever do.
Seriously. I love getting cash. Now when people ask me, my family, we've kind of stopped giving each other Christmas gifts. It just feels forced after a point. And we could just buy. Honestly, you just buy. If I want something, I'll buy it for myself. I don't need you to go buy it for me. But sometimes my sister and mom will ask, like, do you need anything? I'm like, money. Just give me some money. I'm very, very happy with that. And I will put it towards things that are important to me. You know, put it towards a new piece of furniture or remodeling or getting new floors, things like that.
Yeah. When we got married here, we didn't have wedding here because I knew if we were going to have wedding in America, we're going to lose money because this shit ain't cheap here.
No.
I only agreed to have wedding in China. Guess what? We netted 30 grand. Netted 30 grand. Shit, you tell me that shit is rude? After the wedding day, my mom and I dumped all the red envelope, all the cash out of the envelope on our dinner table and start counting money. And I'll tell you, I was the happiest I've ever been in my whole life. You could never see more bigger smile than that.
What'd your husband say when he saw you?
He walked in and he was like, holy, this is the most Chinese shit I've ever seen.
I think there's a lot of beauty in that. And that eventually the money gets shifted around the community, right? Because if someone comes to your wedding, typically you give money when they get married and their kids. So it kind of just shifts around the community.
That was the only reason I agreed to do the wedding, because my parents been giving everybody else money to second, third marriages. And my parents were like, no, bitch, you come back here. We're going to do wedding, like it or not. I was like, okay. And I'm happy I did.
Coffee company, what do you think?
This is perfect for lazy bitches like me. You can just pour the powders in and put hot water. You wouldn't believe it. My eyes was smaller than this. But after that, I'm awake.
Use code.
Oh, yeah.
What's our code? Not your Asian women at checkout for a nice little discount.
Enjoy your new crack. Peace.
Cash is more practical.
It is.
What the fuck do we want those gifts for? We just going to return it, you know?
Yeah. Unless you make something with something really thoughtful, like a photo album or something like that. To me, that thoughtfulness is worth more than money to me.
Yeah,
honestly.
the thoughtful gift is not money can buy. If you can come up with shit that money can't buy, yeah, good for
it's
you.
It's way better, yeah.
Way better.
But
most people don't have the time and
these days,
energy,
yeah.
So
yeah.
just cash, please.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, my dad threw us a Chinese wedding reception. So we had our wedding the way we wanted to do it. Which kind of checked our box, Pete and I, so our parents can kind of throw their own things and we didn't have to collaborate on having one big ass wedding. So my dad did a Chinese wedding reception. I didn't really know anyone there, like besides our immediate family on his side. I'm like, who are these people? But we got some gifts, some envelopes there, and then his mom threw us a reception in Jersey, and people asked how it was. I said, imagine a white mother planning your wedding. It was exactly that. So the country club, golf. It was a party for her basically, and she was so sweet for doing it. But we got a lot of money from there too. His family is very traditional. P and our wedding that we had with our friends, barely anyone gave any money. I think because LA is just so progressive, it doesn't occur to people like, oh, you should at least pay for how much it costs for you to be at that wedding, which is usually 100 to 200 minimum a person. And I know that's kind of, I can see how people are like, that's fucked up. Like, you're inviting me, I shouldn't feel obligated to give you money. But for courtesy, which I actually didn't know when I was younger, that is what you do. And then so I was like, damn, my friends are just like really progressive, or maybe they don't know there's like feast. Yeah, but our families gave us a lot of money. His family too. I'm like, damn, your Aunt Susan's generous. That's nice.
At least someone got some senses.
But that's upbringing too. I think, yeah, my parents didn't really, I don't think they taught me that. Maybe I was too young that they didn't say like, hey, in the future, whenever you go to a wedding, make sure like you have to give. Because I did go to some friends' weddings when they got married early, like early 20s. And I didn't bring a gift. And I didn't realize like it's necessary to. I was like, damn, I was the asshole. So that's what gave me empathy for our friends who didn't give a shit. I don't expect it. It was just more of a like, now that I know, oh, this is the etiquette. This is the manners.
Yeah, the courtesy in China is if someone give you a certain amount of money for whatever baby shower, your wedding, and when it's time for their party, you give little more than what you got. That's the courtesy. Mm-hmm. And you record, you put it on balance sheet, whatever the fuck you do. You put a name down, the amount of money they ever give you. That is the underlying courtesy.
Yes.
So that is the culture I grew up in. And I came here and I'm like, what the fuck is this Dollar Tree ass gift? Some made in China shit. I don't want it. This is rude.
It's so funny. I do love how Asians in general tend to be a little more to the point with certain things. They just cut the bullshit. But actually they do. There's certain things where they're not to the point, where it drives me crazy actually. Being born in the States and growing up, it's harder for me, I guess, to understand. Like, for example, the like fighting over the bill. That to me is disingenuous. Unless there might be a handful of times where you actually want to pay or treat someone, but it's like a phony thing. So basically, if you don't know, if you go out to dinner with someone who's Asian and they say like, oh, let me get the bill, and you say, okay,
then you
no, that's so freaking rude. But not to blame you guys, because maybe you're just more literal. Like, oh, okay, she wants to get it, I'll say yes. And I had to teach my American boyfriend when I was in my 20s, because he just didn't know this, and I didn't blame him because they just grew up different. I think my mom offered to pay once we met, and he just like, he didn't offer. I was like, oh shit. That looks really, really bad.
Yeah. We call this, yeah.
And I had never had to explain it to anyone. So I was explaining to him, he's like, okay, so if someone offers, I just like offer back. And then there's like, you go back and forth a couple times and you're like, no. Okay. Like, just, I'm like, act like you just care that they're paying. And he's like, okay. And he was such a great guy. But to me, I was just like, oh no, you just don't say yes. But see, that's kind of disingenuous, right? I'm like, what is this fucking talk? How about like, okay, I'll get it this time. Like, okay, thank you. I'll get it next time. Would save so much fucking time.
This dance we do when it comes to bills, it's crazy. That part is, it's a double-edged sword. We got this, the same etiquette can be really nice, thoughtful, but at the same time annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at some point, when you're close enough to someone, like you know, I'll get dinner next time. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, but for people you don't know of, you better do this dance.
Yes. And you like, the aunties like physically fight, like go sneak over there and they'll chase each other in the restaurant to pay. I'm like, what is this charade?
I guess it's, part of it is like showing off. Like, hey, I can do this. It's almost like a dick measuring contest.
Oh, that's true.
But you actually don't want to pay.
That's my point. No one, most people aren't excited to be like, yes, I'm gonna get this bill. They're happy if someone's like, imagine if someone else gets it deep down, they're like, oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like showing off if you've done well.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, it's derivative of that. I'm sure there are genuine people who do want to pay, but in general, that's that dance. Especially, you feel if you're genuine, then you won't feel some type of way if the other person said okay.
Yes.
If you feel, oh, is that okay? Then maybe part of you don't really want to pay. Yeah. Then maybe just go Dutch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what else we do that? And indirect communication, that's something, yeah, with similar to that too.
Across any culture, I hate indirect. I feel like it's a waste of time. I'm like, can you just tell me what you want? You could be kind and tell me what you want. I'm not here to play guessing games.
Yeah, because our culture, if it's too straightforward, can be too intense or something. Yeah,
that's true. I've gotten some people that think that I'm intense or aggressive, and I think partially my mom is she's a strong woman, she's very intense too, but I think it's cultural. Like Cantonese especially, the language itself is very direct. It could be insulting, it's casual, right? So there's this casual undertone to it that might not translate the same in other cultures. I will acknowledge that, but I think because I value my time so much, so I'm just like, just get to the point. What do you want? And then so I can make a decision of like where to meet you here. I'm not like, I don't get energized by talking and trying to like get out of you what we're trying to do here. I like clarity. Like what else? This is subjective of what I think Asians do better, but I think like makeup and beauty skincare, I like the Asian aesthetic better than the, can I say like Kardashian, that aesthetic. I think it looks good on some people, but I personally am not attracted to that. I don't like that much foundation and makeup on. I think it looks too intense. I like the softer like BB look, like pink lips and more youthful, soft eyebrows. I do think like Koreans with their skincare, if you've never gone a Korean scrub down before, I remember the first time I got that was the most satisfying thing. You see all your dead skin on the table. I'm like, I've been carrying this around for how many years? And those ladies get in. It's almost like a Brillo-y pad that's a little rough. And they rub you kind of raw. You'll be pink afterwards, but you got like this new skin. I love that. And then, yeah, their facials, they kind of slap you around a little bit because, they love the V shape. I'm like, yeah, be rough. I don't want a gentle ass facial. You can slap me around a little.
The downside to that is I've heard if you come out of your house, just take out trash, you still have to look good just to put the trash out. I'm like, girl, that's a little too much.
That's exhausting.
Yeah. Like they look at Americans wearing like pajamas or sweatpants. They're like, oh my God, I'd kill myself if I look like that.
Yeah, like who cares at that point? If you're just going to do a casual thing like take out the trash can, who fucking cares? Like same with going to the store. I mean, we live on the west side of LA. It's like a beachy town. So I myself, like, if I have to run to the store and I'm in my sweatpants, I feel okay with that. Where maybe some people, my sister says no. She's like, hell no, I'm not going to go out to the store without making an effort. Out of respect for other people, let me just put on a pair of pants. To me, I guess because LA's so casual, I don't think it's a big deal. But there's other settings where I think it is a sign of self-respect and respect for others to put a little effort in how you look. And I heard if you go to Korea, the people are beautiful and they put themselves together. They know who the Americans are because apparently we're slobs compared to them. baggy sweats, all the things. They look really put together. Same with Europeans. I feel like they look really nice. You don't have to be super dressed up, But for example, we went to Portugal and I'm in a sneaker shop. Their sneaker selection, I think, is way better than the selection we have in America. It just looks more chic, more put together, less like puffy pajama-y. And I think people look effortlessly nice over there in general compared to the US.
Yeah, put a little bit effort is good, but like way too much being judgmental.
Like
of,
relax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then that's and that causes a lot of like suicides in Korea too.
Yeah.
Just
Caring
the
too
overall
much.
pressure, caring what other people think,
Yes.
from parents to what you do, where you live, type of car you drive, or do you have a car? That's like too much. Yeah.
Balance. You know, I think it's nice. It's more a self-love thing to me that you want to do it for you and feel good, you know, to look nice. But my mom was a little bit extreme in that, where she would say, "You look like a bum. You know, why you dress like that?" Where I became rebellious in a way where I do dress a little more casual now because she did that. And she's learned after the years after I became an adult. I'm like, do not criticize me. I don't give a fuck. And she also knows it's not going to change me either. And it's actually causing me to do this. So she stopped with that. But I do have her in me now, that the inner voice. And I find myself, I won't say it to people, but I'll think it, you know, if someone goes to a wedding and they're in jeans or sneakers, you know, unless there's a specific aesthetic to the wedding, right? If you're having like a Western barn wedding, okay, maybe people will wear jeans or a certain aesthetic. But for the most part, I'm like, God, you couldn't even put on some slacks for someone's wedding. The thoughts are critical, and I get that from my mom. And I do view it as more of a respect thing, because this isn't your party. If they have a request, just say it's black tie. Maybe you don't want to do black tie. You don't agree with that value. Like, it's disrespectful to the guests to make them dress a certain way. If that's your way of thinking, you could politely decline, and you don't have to go. But I don't think the world doesn't revolve around you. It's not your party. If you want to do things a certain way for your party, you do it. And, you know, your guests respect you. But for other people's parties, it's like going over to someone's house and be like, why the fuck do I have to take my shoes off? That's disrespectful, you know, like, I didn't wash my feet. Yeah, it's someone else's house. If you want to wear your shoes in your house, that's right. That's another thing Asians do. They take off their shoes because outside is fucking disgusting. There are poo particles all around, and you're going to track that into your house. If you have carpet too, I see people walking on carpet with their outdoor shoes. How do you not find that disgusting? Holy, it's disgusting to me.
Yeah, that judgmental in Asian culture and shame is actually helpful. They help you to become a functional member in society.
In a community.
Yeah.
I think in the West, it can be a little too independent. And I'm all for freedom, independence, but it's at a point where, I mean, there's people, entitlement, narcissism. I'm like, the world does not revolve around you.
There's a reason wherever Americans go and travel, the local people hate.
I don't.
Loud, obnoxious.
Totally. I mean, but the same has been said. I've seen, they'll say like mainland Chinese people.
Oh,
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
And I won't disregard that. I think it's getting better, right?
Ha!
Is it?
Not really.
Okay. Okay. I would think, well, compared to decades ago, I heard there's more etiquette classes for like the upper class, that the women want to learn more Western culture and Western etiquette, which I think is good. I went over to Shanghai. Pete and I went maybe 7 years ago. And I mean, this is another reminder to not, like, people think they see one clip on the news and it's true. The Shanghai Disney had opened, and I guess there was like all the highlights of people saying it's dirty, there's garbage, oh my God, this kid's peeing in the bush, and there's like a diaper here, they're not like lining up in the queue. And when I went over there, I had some friends ask, like, was it a shit show? Because that's what they saw. I'm like, you watch the highlight clips of people, a few individuals' worst behavior. When we went, spotless, clean. I I didn't see any like spitting or like any of the stuff that they were talking about. The only thing is what's culturally different is like the personal space. So when you line up in the queue, there'd be
They're
like
breathing in your neck.
yeah.
That's how close we.
Yeah, like a 13-year-old boy is like humping me from the back. I was just like, oh, okay. But it's not considered rude over there. There's just a lot of people and less space. But outside of that, I'm like, no, it's actually really, really good. But as far as I don't think that's why it's good to get out of your country if you're able to from time to time, to remember people just do things differently, and what's considered rude here or is not rude over there, vice versa. Chinese people talking loud, that I'm not used to.
Oh yeah, that playing your video out loud.
I cannot with that. Like they'll be on their phones, and my dad does it, answering it in the middle of a restaurant
On
Hello?
speaker.
Yeah. I said, Dad, do not do that. Please, not here.
Yeah.
But it's not considered rude over there. So whenever I'm with my family on my dad's side, sometimes we go to the Cantonese seafood places. I forget, like, holy shit, it's so loud in here. And growing up in the States, the younger generation, we're not used to it. Parents are singing karaoke and the speaker's so loud. We're yelling at each other across the table. Like, was it always this loud? Or is the older generation getting older and they can't hear, so they turn up the volume?
Maybe both.
Of everything. But I noticed, I'm like, wow, it's really loud in this restaurant. And a lot of like Latino families are like that too. When you get together, the self-expression, it's just loud, which I think is beautiful in a way too, because you're not reserved and inhibiting yourself. Where sometimes Western culture can be a little too controlled. They don't want to talk about anything bad. Just how are you?
Yeah. What you said before, like that singer at the is a Golden House party or something. He said, "Oh, these people, these rich people just don't dance, don't have good time, huh?"
That was the Tribeca Film Festival. Oh. It was a reggae singer, and he was his music was amazing. His name's Ding Dong, and he said, he's like, "Y'all must be rich, because rich people don't dance." It was really funny, but it was hard to dance because the way that they had chairs set up like it was a movie screening, so you're all kind of just standing, so it is kind of hard to get down. But his energy was amazing, and I will say people were kind of swaying, but he's probably used to in his community people going at it.
True. Yeah, and we don't dance that much. Mm-mm. East Asians, not Filipinos. Filipinos can sing, can dance.
Thai to like jungle.
Oh, yeah. Jungle Asians, yeah. They're the cool Asians, for real. They can sing, they could dance.
Yeah.
Know how to party, have a great time. More friendly. East Asians are more like, I don't know, a little snobbier in that way. Like, wanted to come off as too free.
Right.
Yeah, because we're more reserved and afraid of what other people think.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more like that.
Yeah, I hung out with a lot of Filipinos in high school. I really liked them because they were fun to me. They were funny. I'm like, I call them the fun Asians. They're cool. I'm like, oh, you guys are just like cool. They make fun of you too, but it doesn't come off as criticism. It's more like you're just like ragging on each other, and I really playfully, which I really liked. Where I found Chinese criticism was more real criticism. I'm like, damn, like I don't feel great.
You fat, you're poor. Why are you so ugly? That just means how are you?
It is a love language, being able to
call you fat and serve you food, and then like, why don't you eat?
Yes, I think actually Latinos. I know some. I had some Latino. Is that PC Latino, or do I have to say Latinx now? Shining's rolling her eyeballs. But the same thing, like the nicknames, little fatty, or like you're ugly, like little ugly one. It is a sign that you're that close to someone that you can say it to them. But it can do on emotional damage on a kid.
Of course.
Right? But they mean it in a way that's playful. Like, we're close enough that I can say this to you. And it's interesting growing up with a mix of cultures, you know, me being born here, that I hear things differently from, say, the way my mom would hear something. Just, I don't hear criticism. I don't hear negativity. Where to me, it sounds super critical and super negative. Or to her, in the Cantonese language, it's not, this is how we talk. It just uses, it's like in the negative.
Yeah. So it's good to grow up with different culture. It really, you're lucky if you grow up in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of mixed culture, and then you're not pigeonholed into what you believe.
Totally. No, that is the thing. I used to want to, someone asked, like, where would you want to live if you could live anywhere? And at first, like, within the LA region, I said Pacific Palisades, which is just south of Malibu. It's beautiful up there. Until I realized, I had a friend who tried to live up there for about a year, and she's Mexican, her husband's white, but she just said, you know what? She's like, it's not diverse up here. It's just not diverse. And I never realized what a big deal diversity makes. Where I find it more enjoyable, like, number one, the food. I want a diversity in food, but also when everyone's just like cookie cutter, you just doing one thing, and it doesn't matter what ethnicity, whether Pacific Palisades, I would say, is majority white, but if it's even, I have some friends from high school, like, only hang out with Asian people, like, in this little bubble where they don't even have any friends that are outside of the Asian race. I don't think that's a good thing either. I get gravitating towards that maybe because you grew up and you have similar language values, but I think it's also good to expose yourself to others.
Yeah, that was. I'm glad I went to Atlanta to go to school when I first came here. If I was in, say, Toronto or the Bay Area, LA, I'd be too comfortable hanging out with Chinese people and not be able to learn outside of my culture. Yeah, that'd be waste of a trip. It's like you go to Europe and then you only want to eat hot pot.
Oh yeah, which some Asians do. Yeah, my family. I used to get annoyed when my parents, we would travel, and then they would go look for like the Chinatown or noodles, or as soon as we arrived back at SFO before we got home, it'd be late too. Oh, let's go, late night Cantonese like egg noodle places or like Samu barbecue. Let's go eat noodles. And I would always get somewhere, I'm like, why? And now that I'm older, I understand why.
Same.
Right? There's something
I got the Chinese stomach.
Yeah. I mean, when you grow up on like soups and rice noodles, when you're eating bread and butters all day, it doesn't sit right. It's not comforting. So you do crave comfort food after a while. But I do think it's important you want to try wherever you're going. You should try to eat their food. That's the whole point of going there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's why when some people travel where they still live how they live, I'm like, I don't see what the point of that is. Just that you always stay in like a westernized Four Seasons type of hotel and you're in different parts of the world. I guess because I view travel more as being expansive and learning and immersing yourself in other cultures and learning about other people. I'm like, if I'm in these hotels that they create specifically for Westerners, it kind of defeats the purpose to me. I get if you're older and you just want comfort. Okay, yes, that I get. But otherwise, I'm like, it's almost like you're viewing another country like you're at a zoo or something. That's how it's always come off to me. So and to each their own. Sorry if that came off judgmental. I just meant, just making effort to really see other people and experience what they're experiencing. The food, like in India. Have you been to India?
No, but I want to. But I heard it's very rapey. What's up with India, man? Please control yourself.
Dude, there is truth to that. I got felt up over there. I didn't think you hear stories, and my female friends who have been over there, like same thing. Like a guy, I have a neighbor, and she said a guy in India, her and her husband basically backpacked across India.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said they would literally go up to her, like to go grab her boob, and she would have to like knock them out of the way. It's like that.
Shit, you can't even make this shit up.
And so we took this tour when we were in India, and we said, I was with Pete and some friends, and we said we would like a little more authentic culture, so we can eat like some of the street food and stuff. They know where to take tourists, where it's maybe like a little better for our stomachs and stuff, but more authentic, like the outdoor laundry. Like, and he said, okay, I have the perfect tour guide, and the tour guide was fantastic, taught us like the etiquette of Indian culture and all that. And then we said, he's like, do you want to hop on the train? And have you seen videos of the train at rush hour, the amount of people? And we said, let's do it. And he said, okay, this is how you ask the guy for a ticket, say it in this language. And we tried, and it was fun. And we get on the cars, and he's like, you'll notice there's some cars that are specifically only for women, and that's because of the touching and things like that. And I said, is it really that bad? And he's like, well, there is a joke that the women cars are sometimes more dangerous because the women get in fights. And so we were with him. So he's like, do you want to go in the women's car? I'm like, no, let's just all go in the regular car. It's crowded as fuck, of course. And you're like a sardine getting pushed in. We get in, and it's a sea of people to the point where Pete gets pushed like away from me to the back. And I'm standing next to the guide and my friend Dawn, she's beautiful. And then as we're going, and the trains, they operate with the doors open too. And then I'm like, it's almost like, I'm like, is someone touching me on purpose, or is it just like brushing? I couldn't tell, and I'm just confused at first. And then I feel it happening more. This is like my boob, And then I feel it on my crotch, like really light. And I'm like, okay. And I turn, and I see who it is. It's the guy standing right next to me. And the most infuriating part was that culturally, they just look at you like, what? Like, what's the big deal? No shame. Not like, oh shit, I should stop. It was just more like, and I'm not used to that. And
what's up, India?
Yes.
What's going on?
And so in that moment, I always think, God, if someone tried that shit, I'm going to punch him in the face or whatever. It wasn't like that. I actually froze because I'm like, I'm not in my country. There's a majority local men on this train, and the doors are open. I don't want to start a mob. I don't know what worst case scenario, you get like pushed out a train or something. So I just froze. And then I think I had an umbrella or something. I'm just like trying to protect myself. And I'm pissed. I'm looking at him like pissed. And then I think he couldn't get to me anymore. And then the guy kind of looks at me, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm getting bumped. He's like, no, I think that's me. I'm like, I don't think so. And I look at my friend Dawn's face, and same thing, confusion at first. And then I looked at her, I'm like, are you getting touched? And she's like, yes. And it was the same guy. And she wasn't as triggered as me. She was just like giving him dirty looks like, stop. And then I was just like, holy shit. And then eventually we get off, and then everyone sprays, and he just walks off like nothing happened. And I just burst into tears because I was so angry and I was so frustrated. I didn't feel confident to say anything. So all my frustration, like women carry a lot of pain with shit like that. I just burst out crying. And then Pete's like, what happened? I'm like, some guy was like touching us. And Dawn's like, yeah, like his finger was like going up my crotch. And then the guy's like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, I didn't feel safe that I could say something. And Pete's pissed off because he felt helpless too. He's like, why didn't you fucking do something? And he was like yelling at me because he was frustrated. And I'm like, because I didn't feel safe. I just burst out.
Yeah.
And I was like crying the rest of the way home. But yeah, that is a thing over there. And my friend.
So other than that, how was India? Let's go again.
And then outside of that, I actually loved my trip to India, especially in the northern part, Rajasthan. Beautiful. The food, northern India, amazing. Okay, I highly recommend it. Just know that if you're a woman, you need to be on the defense. And I personally don't recommend traveling alone there.
Yeah, I watched this during pandemic. I followed several travel bloggers, and this beautiful woman too used to be a model. She went to India alone, but she did her. I was like, I don't even know her. I just watched her videos, and I was like fearful for her. But she said she did her research. She chose the high end hotels, the districts that she stayed in. Even that, because she didn't upload for a while, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then next thing you know, like, there was her crying in a thumbnail about her trip in India. She stayed in like Four Seasons or something, like one of those really high-end hotels, and she woke up in the middle of the night, saw two men staring over her, and turned out those men bribed the hotel manager to get to the key and go to her room. And she said she had never felt like she was going to die.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Did anything happen
No,
to her?
nothing happened. Yeah,
they just look at her.
Yeah.
While she's sleeping.
What's up, India?
There's a boundaries thing where I've noticed the way that, and I acknowledge not every single Indian man is like this, okay? But the ones that, when they're hitting on you, there's no boundaries in the amount of times they text you. Like, da-da-da-da, why aren't you answering? I'm like, because you sound like a crazy person. You know, you hit the ball and then you wait for a response. You don't fucking smother like that. And I feel there's no boundary there.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, that's crazy. And there was she filed police report, but it didn't go anywhere, because that happens on the daily, every day. And they are like citizen alarm apps where like women created for each other or something, that if you're alone getting off work, you'd have to, it's like, instead of Uber, you hollering group of people to walk you from home. That is how common it is over there. That is some like some crazy, like, I don't know, like, what had caused the culture to go this extreme.
Well, I think when you're so deprived,
clearly not. They've been fucking. It's like the most populated country in the world. What is going on? And isn't like, and prostitute is legal there or something too?
Oh, I don't know.
And you could pay for sex. Not saying that this is predatory for sex trafficking. It's bad, but I don't know. Like, what? How deprived are you? How horny are you?
Right. Well, I think my friend, who's Indian, by the way, she said she went to Goa, and she's jogging. And she's wearing, I think, just leggings, so it's tight, right? And even her family's from there. She's like, the amount of stares that I get, and not feeling safe. She's like, I'm not gonna wear that again, jogging. Where I guess it's normal for us, like, you wear just workout clothes, you know. She's like, oh, never again. I'm not gonna do that.
Yo, I'd like to interview an Indian man that's from India, like coming to San Francisco, seeing all these women. They be exploding, right? Like, if they came here and then they knew how to act, then they know what is a proper way to act, but they couldn't act like that back home. That's weird.
Well, I think I shared my experience of, you know, getting touched in India once, like something online, and there was pushback, probably from an Indian man that lives in India, but he's like, you Western women make a big deal of nothing.
So what's a little rape gonna do, huh? Let's edit that word out.
Oh my god.
I don't know. That's too much like Buddha or something. Like, what? They should be very, I don't know, enlightened. I guess when you go to that extreme, you just
perverted. Well,
Yeah.
Japanese too. Don't you feel like Japanese kinky? They are so kinky.
But their thing is Like anime though. Like in real life they get touchy too. Oh yeah, they get touchy too. It was very common.
I think when I was in Japan,
there's a word for that.
I think I got touched on a Japanese train too. It happened 3 times. India, Japan, and then once at a club in Australia. Someone grabbed my ass. But I think in Japanese, he was rubbing his heart on me on the train. Perverted, dude. And have you heard of like the used underwear?
Oh
they'll buy that shit. Like that's pretty perverted to me.
Yeah. And there was a news that a Japanese man that get himself stuck in the toilet tunnel just to see women pee.
Perverted. Oh, Saudi, the Middle East, don't they want to see women
well
go
I mean
2.
at least they pay them. I mean shit, if someone pays me like 50 grand to just see me shit, sure. I don't know why would you do that. It grosses myself out.
It's fucking disgusting. But I feel like everyone has their number. Some people are like, hell no, just say they gave you $1 billion and all you have to do
is take a shit in front of them,
squat and go to the bathroom. Would you do that?
100%.
I think as long as I didn't have to interact with them in any way, I don't know what they do with it. If all you have to do is go to the bathroom and then leave.
Yeah, sure.
I think my husband would be like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's a good gig.
Get us the money.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my husband would be like, let me do it too. I get one.
Can I do
it? Yeah. Buy one, get one free deal.
Well, speaking of Japanese culture, they do a lot of things better, I feel like, they're like their own their unique culture.
Yeah, like making shit, like engineering wise, the Japanese and the Germans,
yes,
they're good.
Exceptional. Is that because of World War II?
I think it's they're just how they're culturally like they value good. Yeah, quality.
Yeah, their automobiles.
Oh,
going to Japan, every little thing. I remember going to a store and there was these tiny tape dispensers. It's like a tiny tape, and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with a tiny tape dispenser? But I kind of want it. I'm like, who comes up with this stuff? It's so excellently made. But I really admire people who want to do a good job.
Yeah, the craftsmanship. Yeah, they do really excellent. Like you can trust German made or Japanese made.
Yes.
Yeah, German engineers, I think they're the most sought after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their stuff is good. What else?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, they're just, like Italians are good at. They have their things they're good at. And every culture has the things they're good at. What are Americans good at?
Fast food.
Fast food.
Oh,
I know what are Americans known to be exceptional at.
I know my friend, a comedian, Luis Perez, he did this bit that he goes, so what is America excellent at? What's our number one export? Vibes. Or culture.
Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on American culture, but I'm thinking in terms of excellence. What are Americans good at? Well, capitalism?
Entertainment.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Entertainment.
But now, Korea is outdoing America.
Yeah. K-pop.
Yeah. Movie.
Yeah, they're starting to have film festivals over in East Asia.
Mm-hmm. Actually, and even India, to be honest, like they have some like crazy movies.
They do. And even growing up, like the Cantonese movies, my parents would take us every Sunday to Chinatown to watch, Cantonese films, oh, they do a fantastic job. And a lot, some of the American films that Martin Scorsese did, The Departed, that's based off a Hong Kong, movie, a trilogy. It's just like a remake. But yeah, entertainment, I would say Hollywood, America's known for.
Vibes.
Vibes. I'm like, I don't, nothing else comes to mind. So if you're listening, you can share
Weapons.
what you, good at making
Good at
guns.
weapons. Yeah.
Is that for good though?
Tech.
Is that a compliment?
Marka. Technology? I mean, yeah.
Technology?
Corporations.
Corporate,
Yeah.
Capitalism, corporate.
Capitalism, yeah.
Like the opportunity to make money if you want that.
Yeah,
This is
it's
where
still a
you can
young,
do it.
vibing country where people want to come here to make money, to thrive.
Yes.
Yeah, good or bad, it is good for the economy. And yeah, in terms of like weapons, I don't know good or bad, but I'm heavily invested in American economy. So I'm just saying, CIA, if you're listening, I don't care what you do, just get this economy up. Get the stock market up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to retire soon.